to call the meeting to order. It is, I think, 6:01:02 on March 3rd, and it's Wednesday night. So let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I actually have a flag here. So here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. Great job. So could we do a roll call, please? And could you just say if someone's in the room? Let's start with you, Mark.
Mark Stevens, alternate member, and I am the only one in the room.
Hi, Charlie.
Charlie Birchmeyer, and I'm the only one in the room.
Jeremy.
Jeremy Jones, and I'm the only one in the room.
John.
John Napoli, member, and I'm the only one transitioning from my car to my house.
Okay. Joanne.
Joanne Duffy, Planning and Economic Development Director, and I'm the only one in the room.
And Bonnie Gavin, and I'm the only one in the room, Vice Chair. So, did everybody have a chance? Oh, I have to read the right to know law. Sorry. Now we're going to read the right to know. In accordance with the Governor's Emergency Order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-4, the Goffstown Economic Development Council will utilize the emergency meeting provisions of RSA 91-A to conduct meetings through electronic means while preserving to the extent feasibility as feasible. The public's right to know notice of such meetings and the ability to observe and listen contemporaneously. So the public access to the meeting is by telephone, 603-766-5646. And the participant code is 785-645, the number sign. If you have problems with access, members of the public experiencing problems will access during the meeting are asked to call 603-660-1655. Okay, Chet. Hi, Chet.
Hello. Very nicely done.
Well, thank you. Okay, so can we have an approval of the minutes of the meetings from the last meeting of February 3rd?
You want a motion?
I do.
I make a motion we approve the minutes of February 3rd, 2021.
Do I get a second?
I'll second.
Any changes? Anything that we need to change in there? Any? Everybody read them?
Bonnie,
Gail?
who did this?
Yes,
who
Gail.
did the second?
Oh, the second was Jeremy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gail can't see everybody, so if you can identify yourself when you do speak, that would be helpful for her. So seeing no changes, can I have a motion? Can I have Mark, do you approve?
I abstain. I was not present.
Okay, Jet,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Charlie,
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Okay, great. Moving on to the old and new business. So Joanne has Facebook page up here. So let's talk about the Facebook page.
So I've been posting a few things, mostly having to do with the state sending out notices regarding COVID and money, towards the COVID businesses, things like that. We did also send out something about, what was it, John? I forget now. The one that you sent me.
The one recently, or?
The most recent.
So I was asking about, because I think we talked about one of the meetings with sending links to open business sites. But I think you were questioning if that's something that we could post or not.
So I looked through the minutes and I only found one sentence discussion about that particular item, and there was sort of a question as to whether or not we could actually promote vacant storefronts because we're not the realtor. So I haven't asked Derek about it, but I thought it was sort of like, no, we can't do that, but I may have misunderstood. Does anyone remember that conversation?
Yeah, go ahead, Chet.
Yeah, so we are 100%, because when we're looking at, if I'm correct, we're talking about new business sites, we are 100% able to say this is what we have available in Goffstown. The only thing that we're not allowed to do, and Joanne, I want to say I appreciate your thoroughness and being so careful about these things. But the only thing we can't do is say this site is better for this kind of business versus this site, or this site is better in general.
Mhm.
We are absolutely, if you look at the city of Concord and a number of other communities similar to us, on their economic development pages within their website, or their own Facebook pages, or their own Twitter, or their own, whatever, they are constantly listing available sites where businesses could, find a home. And they're very careful. I've read through a bunch of them. They're very careful not to say this is the best or this isn't, but this is just what's available. And then Joanne, they can call you or me as the selectman on this board, or anyone on this board, and ask more questions about it. And then of course, then we point them to the realtor.
Okay.
That's
So-
100% okay.
Okay. That makes sense.
Awesome. Thank you, Chet.
Can I have
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
trying to raise the hand thing? Because
No, that's okay. I was actually going to ask the question because we talked about last time, expanding exactly where we put things. And where did that go? Did it go anywhere? Did we inquire? Did Derek say what we could do, not do? How about the select board?
So the select board, we didn't focus anything on that yet. I did not. I had a few other items to talk with Derek about. What I can tell you is that the basic rule has been followed. I think we have proven that we have plenty of things to post, and especially, I know I don't want to jump ahead, but I know we're talking about the bingo piece in a minute. That's going to be weekly at minimum. We have the sites we can post. We have done what we need to do, and we've proven it. It's been, we said 3 months, I believe, a quarter. I think we're very close to that, if not past it at this point. John, thank you, by the way. Awesome work, and anybody who's been out there. I think we're ready. I will, Joanne, if you can remind me, or I'll remind you, because we both can easily forget with everything going on, that you and I talk to Derek together.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to go through the select board, but if so, we will bring it there. Most likely not on the March 9th meetings. That's the final meeting of the current select board. We'll probably bring it to the following one after the town meeting,
Okay.
if everyone's agreeable to that.
So we're going to expand our communication baseline of what we're doing versus just Facebook. Okay, great.
Oh, Bonnie, sorry, my apologies. I thought you were asking about whether or not we could move away from the town Facebook page and become independent.
Yes, both.
Okay.
Yes.
I haven't received any negative comments from anyone about the posts so far, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I would love to see us expand over onto our own. But how about other vehicles in which I know we had that discussion, moving on to, Twitter and or Instagram or any of those, getting them out there because everybody uses them.
Instagram would be really great to post photos around from the town. I mean, all of us could go when we're out somewhere, and if it's, a nice
Right.
photo, we could take it and put it up there.
Right. Okay. So is that something we have to find out about, though? We have to see if that's okay for us to do.
Yeah, we have to check with Derek.
Okay. Chat.
I think John might have gone first, if that's okay.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed your hand, John. Sorry.
No worries. I would just question if we do expand, would we go through kind of the same thing with Facebook and have, kind of a gatekeeper moderator where I think it would be great, if we do send photos or whatever, but still go through the same pathway of sending it through Joanne or whoever's going to be, the gatekeeper for that before things go up.
I would totally agree with that. Does everybody pretty well agree with that? For sure. I think that's true because I don't think anybody here would put a bad photo up, but let's make sure that
but more to, yeah, for the, like, the consistent formatting, consistent messaging. And so, you know,
Right.
we're really kind of targeted and have, you know, a kind of our unique voice, or, you know, a singular voice coming out.
I wanted to say hello to Dick and Ellen as well.
Hello.
Welcome.
Sorry I was late.
That's okay. Go ahead, Chet.
That was me waving hello, by the way, not being impatient and raising
No,
my
no,
hand.
no, I knew that.
So, as far as the expansion, it's really just getting away from the town website. Everything will always go through Joanne. And that'll be forever, just because Joanne is really good at asking the right questions at the right time. So you know, we may make a mistake. You know, for goodness sakes, I'm on the select board and I still want to do something and find out, you know, halfway through it that it's not okay. So Joanne's really good with that. So that'll always be a thing. What I wanted to suggest, and Jeremy, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but you made some really good comments last time about the different platforms we could use. So I guess I'm asking you if you're able to, from a strictly taking a look at what our focus is, what are the best platforms currently or that are even upcoming that we could use? My guess would be that whatever we put on Facebook, we would simply duplicate that same thing on all the other platforms. So really, it's just a matter of which platforms to use. So Jeremy, are you able to put together a list or work in conjunction with a couple others on figuring out what the best ones to use would be for business purposes?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's going to be what we won't likely do if we do expand into a couple of different channels is not actually cross-post the exact same material. Some platforms are more geared toward visual communication. Some are more geared toward literative communication. So, you know, if we're posting something to LinkedIn, I think that's one of the first places that we'll want to target from a business perspective. However, someone, I forget who, I apologize, but someone just mentioned Instagram a little while ago, and Instagram is a great way for us just to show off visits to area businesses, and that channel I would view being used more from the consumer perspective, less from the business owner's perspective. You know, everybody will see it obviously, but it's a matter of who you're trying to target with each channel.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you. Chet, anything more? Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. So in this committee, historically, I hate, you know, historically, I'm so sorry. But it's in my lexicon now. Historically, we have said something so nice like that and then not followed up. So I guess what I'm asking Jeremy is, could you, for next time, are you willing to put together a list that you think is consumer focused versus business focused, and eventually down the line we might even be able to do a couple posts targeting each, depending on how we do this? Is that something you feel comfortable doing, Jeremy?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually what I do in my day-to-day work anyway, and have for many years. So
Awesome.
that's not a problem. I'll have a full list and potentially even a proposal for how to attack it ready for the next meeting. Actually, prior to the next meeting, I will email it out for review.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
And what kind of authorization do we have to get in order to use those vehicles? Joanne?
I'm sorry. I have lost,
I know, I saw you go out and then come back in, but
and I'm still out. I can't see anyone.
we can see you though.
Okay. So can you repeat your question?
Sure. So what kind of authorization do we need to have in order to go out to LinkedIn, to Instagram? What do we need to do? Who do we need to talk to?
So I think we need to put together a proposal, and then Chet and I could discuss it further with Derek. And I believe Derek would have the final say. I don't believe something like that would need to go to the select board. Other departments, I believe the police department I think they use Twitter. I'm not sure about Instagram, but certainly there are other departments out there using other platforms.
Okay, so Jeremy, would you maybe be able to get something together before the next meeting, get it to Joanne and Chet? And
Yes.
maybe have that conversation? That'd be great. And then we could approach a next meeting. That'd be awesome. Good. All right. Anything else on that subject? Doing great, guys. Doing really, I'm very happy with the Facebook page. John, awesome job. And Joanne. Okay, let's go on to the restaurant bingo. I want to sing B-I-N-G. So I saw that the final page, that was great.
So yeah, there's several different pages. I'll just go through them briefly.
Okay.
The page that you saw where it said, it was in sort of an orangey red color where it says Goffstown Restaurant Bingo in large letters.
Yeah.
And then there's instructions. That first page, we don't need the second page, just the
That
first
one right
page.
there.
Will be going out to the restaurants with the packets so
Joanne,
that
this one, right? Joanne, is that the one? Oh, you can't see.
can't
Never
see.
mind. That's
I
the
don't know
one.
what happened. It just went black.
Okay, sorry about that. Good.
So anyway, that will be going with the packets that will be delivered to the restaurants, just to explain how this works. I did order the stamps. I have the stamps in hand, and the bingo cards will be ready tomorrow. So I've ordered 2,500 cards. So we need to divide them into however many we're going to give to each restaurant, and then keep some aside for if they run out. And then we need to deliver them. So we need to give them 2 stamps, a package of the bingo cards, an instruction sheet, and then the back of the bingo cards has a list of the participating restaurants and the instructions for the participants. So what they would do is once they were complete of bingo, you know, up, down, diagonal, they would add their name to the bottom of the card on the back and their phone number and email. And they could either drop it off at the restaurant or any of the participating restaurants, or they can leave it here at Town Hall. And I thought we could do, so you had authorized $1,000 for the prizes. And you also, excuse me, you also agreed that we should be doing gift cards. So I thought if you gave 2 prizes a week of $25, it would sort of increase the participation, the willingness to say, hey, let's play this game. So for some people, it may be easy if they go out for lunch and then they go out for dinner a couple times a week. You know, it may be easy. For others, not as much. But the purpose of it is to make it fun and have them try perhaps restaurants that they've never eaten at. I think, well, I think I told you this, but I did speak with the director down in Derry, and, you know, their whole goal was to just go participate and buy something from these restaurants versus, you know, oh, you have to get, you know, this one and this one. They sort of left it really wide open, but they have a lot more restaurants than we do. There was only one restaurant that decided not to participate, which was the China Gourmet, which is next to the Village Trestle. But otherwise, all of the other restaurants in town, besides the chains, are on here. So anyway, so the top sheet would be the instructions. Then there's the bingo card. Then there's the list of participating restaurants and the name for the participant. So the thing that I'm not sure about are the prizes themselves, the gift certificates. I put together a list trying to vary the different places, but this is not set in stone. So I wanted you to take a look at it and see if you wanted to make any changes. So I was thinking if we start this next week, if we can get these cards out within the next few days and start this next week, we could have, I think it was either 7 or 8. I think it was 7 weeks total if we ran it until the end of April. No, I'm sorry, the end of April? Yeah, the end of April. And if you gave 2 gift certificates a week of 25, and then that would be 400, and then you gave the grand total, and somebody here at Town Hall suggested LeMay's Steakout as a $200 gift prize for someone to go in and buy, you know, meat for the barbecues or whatever. That was, you know, the idea. If you would rather do it a different way, I'm not tied to this at all. I'm trying to get people's opinions on what they like best.
What I was thinking was the grand prize could be $100 to LeMay's and $100 to Hannaford's. You know, that way they can actually go and buy food too, you know?
Except that the board did not want to use chains.
I was maybe Sully's then, use
or
Sully's.
Sully's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could do Sully's and we could do LeMay's. I mean, what do other people think?
I guess the only question I would have is, do we open ourselves up to any concerns with providing such a large grand prize to a single business, to a specific business? Has that been discussed?
No, it
Well,
hasn't.
That's Jeremy that asked that question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joanne.
I'm in the dark. I'm sitting in a dark closet.
It's okay.
Jeremy, that has not been discussed, but certainly can be.
So what is your concern, Jeremy? I'm sorry, I guess I missed that.
No, that's okay. Just so being so new to the council, right? One of the things that I want to make sure I am always being aware of is how we treat businesses in the community and making sure that everyone's treated fairly. And I just didn't know if we were going to be opening ourselves up to any sort of a concern by favoring one business for that large amount of a grand prize over another. That's all.
That's a tough one. I think that's a really tough one. Go ahead, Chet.
Actually, if you could, I see Charlie.
Charlie was first. Yeah, Charlie first. Yep, sorry. We can't hear you, Charlie. Unmute. There you
Sorry,
go.
my comment wasn't going to actually be about the grand prize. I was just going to chime in and say that I reached out to Twisted Fender and Devrant, like I said that I would.
Yeah.
And Twisted Fender does do detailing, but they bring in an outside person from Manchester, so wouldn't actually keep the money local.
Okay.
But Devrant also, I know that they were on the list that was sent out as possible gift card recipients. Their businesses are actually separated, even though it's the same business. So if you get a gift card for the farm stand, you can't use it at the ice cream shop and vice versa.
Okay.
So that's just something that we might want to think about if we're using Devrant as a possible gift card option. That it's not an across the board thing.
Okay.
So sorry, I raised my hand before I realized where this conversation was going, but
No, that's okay. That's fine. Thanks for that input. Anything more on that, Charlie? No, you're all set?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just want to go back. Thank you, Charlie, for that. And back to Jeremy. I think Jeremy's making a really fantastic point.
Yeah.
What I tend to do, and this is just my own personal approach in situations like this, is offer choice to the consumer. So what I would suggest that we do is we do have a sort of a grand prize. And Joanne, logistically, if this is okay, I think we have a grand prize of say 200, and then the consumer can pick within the list of already pre-approved businesses that are Goffstown. And make a choice like that's where I want to spend this money.
I'm sorry, and then we go purchase the certificate
Yeah, the last one. Yep.
once
Is
we
that-
know. Okay.
Is that logistically a challenge, Joanne, or is that okay?
I don't think it's a challenge. The reason I put the asterisks after, like some have one asterisk, some have two.
Yeah.
The ones that have one, you can purchase their gift certificates online. The ones that have two, you have to actually go in there and buy one. So Derek or Danielle will have to take care of the purchasing because they have the town's credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So some of them they'll be able to just get online, but leaving it to the end, I don't see that as an issue. My only concern was that if we purchase, more cards than we need, then we have leftover, and I can't do that because of the auditors. So I have to have like a certain number, and that's it. So if you don't want to purchase them all at once, that's fine, people can choose. But once you get down to the last few people, or even the last person, there's only going to be one left.
So what is,
Unless we purchase them all afterwards.
right. What happens if like 3 people get bingo the first week?
So we put their name in a hat, and then we kind of make a big deal of it. We have maybe a Facebook Live where we pick the winner for the week, or 2 winners for the week.
Okay.
I think in the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks even, we may not even have anyone because, you know, it's going to take them a little while. But I would think towards the middle of the event that, you know, we'll have more. And we probably will have more than one winner, not winner, but more than one bingo winner per week. I would expect that.
And then they all go into the kitty for the grand prize. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
That's why it's important that we get the names from the restaurants or collect the cards.
Okay.
It's just
John?
gonna be, it'll be, you know, the other thing we can do is, and this would actually be easier for people, is if we have the restaurants keep the winning cards, put them aside, and then at the end, we collect and give the prizes out at the end. Week 1 is this one, week 2 goes to this one, and then they choose where do you want a prize to, and then we go out and get the gift certificate.
To be honest with you, I think building the hype, we got to build the hype and keep it going. So if we do it weekly, it's probably a better thing. What do people think? John, you had your hand up.
Sorry, I took it down. I was just asking, my question was just going to be about the grand prize and if all of the bingos are going in at the end. So that interesting. But since I'm talking now, I do agree that I think the weekly drawing, keeping it going and, you know, either having a Facebook Live or, you know, somehow kind of getting the, you know, promotion out there, I think I agree with that.
Good. Okay, great. Now, Chet, you have your hand up.
Had to unmute. Thank you. I'm not sure if I missed where the conversation went just now, but I wanted to make sure that my suggestion was what I intended. My intention was that we would pre-buy a number of gift cards to specific Goffstown businesses.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to the grand prize only, at that point, then we would give the consumer the choice of where they want that $200 to go to. They may, and maybe we even offer them, you can have $200 to one place, just pick it, or you can pick $100 to each place. That is, I'm hoping that that's the intent of my suggestion was that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think that everybody, I see the head shake, so it looks like everybody agrees. Oh, Joanne.
I still can't see anybody.
Well, you just bigified yourself. All I can see is you.
Yeah,
I don't want that.
Can I be heard? This is Ellen from Akowitz.
I can't see anybody now.
I'm going to spotlight you since you're the chair.
Can you hear me?
That's better. That's better. Yeah.
Can I be heard? This is Ellen.
Oh, there's Ellen. Hi, Ellen. You were there and then you left.
Yeah, and I'm still not on. It's having trouble, so I called in.
Okay.
So
good.
I'm on the phone. I'm sorry. I am here at the meeting.
That's okay.
I got in and then it disappeared on me, so I called. So I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, Ellen.
My only thought is with this is the less we require or ask of the participating restaurants, I think the better.
Mhm.
So the easier we make it on them would be best. So if anybody needs somebody to go around each week and pick up the cards or whatever, I'm available.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll go around too. I'll help out on that aspect. I'll help to deliver if you need me. Okay, great. Anything else on the bingo? Great job.
So-
Really, really good job.
Are there any prizes or any of the businesses that you'd like to switch out for something else?
No.
I don't think so. Anybody? No, I think they're all good. And
Okay,
they all committed, right? They all committed to it, so.
Well, the prize winner, the places where we would be purchasing the prizes from, I haven't called them, but, you know, they're not going to complain about us purchasing a
right.
gift certificate from them.
Right.
But yes, the restaurants have all agreed to participate.
Okay.
So if anyone is available, tomorrow is what, Thursday?
Yeah.
Probably Friday, from Friday moving forward, we could start delivering the packages to the restaurants. And most likely, I've explained how this works to each one of them, but I did say that when they were dropped off, we would go over it again, just so that they're clear. So you just need to, you know, understand exactly what they need to do and
Perfect.
provide them with the materials and the stamps.
Okay, sounds perfect. Anything
What
else?
time-
on that? Go ahead,
What
Ellen.
time on Friday? What time on Friday should I stop in to pick up stuff and be told where to go?
Okay, probably if I get them tomorrow, I'll work on them Friday morning, putting the packets together. So maybe by noon.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
All right,
Okay,
great.
thank you.
So we all set with bingo? Oh, Charlie, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I can't necessarily help on Friday, but I can next week. And I'm more than willing to deliver, and you know, if people give me a list, I can come pick up the packets and do whatever is needed.
Okay.
But I did want to say that when I talked to Devon, they were very open to the idea. They just said that if we were going to do gift cards, we would have to pick one side or the other.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Charlie. Okay, any other discussion on this?
So does anyone have a preference on if we leave them on the list of which side we should choose? The
Are you talking
gardens?
about Devon?
Yes.
No, they didn't care either way.
Okay. So just
When I talked to Leah, who's part owner, I guess, and she was super excited that the town was doing something like this. And she definitely wanted to be a participant. I mean, we're buying the gift card, so it's kind of hard to say no to money.
Why can't we do it on each side?
We could. And that was kind of the point, was that we can do each side, but we have to pick that they're separate, that we can't, there's no Devon gift card. It goes to either the farm stand and the nursery side, or it goes to the ice cream stand side.
Okay, all
we
right.
could break it in half and do half for one side, half for the other.
I believe that we could. I can double check.
Okay.
I can give her a call tomorrow. She avoided my calls for the longest time, but then when I finally got a hold of her, they screen their calls, and I have a Michigan number.
Oh, there you go.
So I had to do an online.
Spam.
I had to do an online inquiry, and then once
Yeah.
I explained who I was, she called me back and gave me her cell phone number. So like I'm fine with calling and asking if we can do like 1250 and 1250, or
Okay,
I don't know, however we want to break it up.
Okay.
yeah. Jeremy, did you have a question first? Yours?
No, actually, John asked that question for me about being able to do both sides. And I don't, depending on how the funds are allocated, I don't necessarily know that we would need to actually split, you know, a 20, we just do 25 on each side. That would be my opinion.
Mine too. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Except
I
that
agree.
then we would need to remove one of the businesses. Because like I said, we can't have any left over at the end.
Okay, I understand now. I missed that part, Joanne. This is Jeremy. So my question on that then, I apologize if I jumped in front of anybody that had their hand up, but my question on that then would be for the why. Comment was made earlier about not wanting to do any chains or anything like that and keeping the money in Goffstown. Is the YMCA considered a chain?
I would say yes.
Okay. All right, we can remove them. And
And
put
maybe you can
Devon.
put different, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And I hate saying that because I happen to love the Y. My family loves
Yeah.
the Y.
Fantastic.
Such great people down there, but I guess if we have to choose and that's the requirement that we're going by.
Okay,
agree.
that sounds fine.
And that brings me to Ace Hardware. Is that a chain?
Yeah.
It's a chain, but they're independently
Owned and operated?
owned and operated.
Yeah, and
They're
Ace
okay.
Hardware is run completely differently. There's like different tiers.
Okay,
It's like
good.
Goffstown is one of the highest tiers because of the way that it's run. So I would still say that that's, it's run by local people. It employs local people. It's a chain, but it's more of a franchise. It's not.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the same holds true for Auburn Hardware.
Well, yeah, Auburn that's a local. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with how they run.
Yeah, it's a local family. John, it's your turn now.
Hey, so I guess my question's more on the, so when we're picking the prize winner, I love the idea of doing something Facebook Live. Are we able to say if we pull somebody's name out as a winner, are we able to say their name and have that posted, or does that run into any kind of privacy issues, or?
They probably have to sign a disclaimer. I would say we probably should have a disclaimer that we can use them for advertising. There's a little blurb that we can have.
Where would we put that?
Well, when
'Cause I
they
think
come
we've
to
already-
get their- Go ahead, I'm sorry.
We've printed the, is there something now on the back of the cards that has that, or those are already printed, so
Yeah, it
where
does.
do we have that?
But what you could do is when they come to get their prize, you can ask them if they want to be part of the, the hoopla, the advertisement,
Oh, okay.
the disclaimer, and have them sign it then, and then do the Facebook Live. That would make
Okay,
sense to me.
So-
doing a live drawing on a Facebook Live and
Right.
picking out one of the names. I see what you're saying. Okay.
So,
Oh, Sven.
Excuse me, this is Ellen, if I may.
Yeah, actually, wait a minute, hold on 1 second. I have another hand in front of you.
That's fine.
John, you're all set, right? And Joanne, are you all set?
I just had a question for procedural. So if you wanted to do the Facebook Live, would you wait? So would you pick the winner but not do it live, and then call the person and then have them come and do, like, stand off to the side and say, oh, and we are picking a winner, and it's them, and then have them like join the Facebook Live? Like, how would you do that?
Yeah, if that's what they wanted to do, you can call the people that are in the kitty ahead of time and say, would you want to be part of a Facebook Live? You could do that. And, then you get their permission. And then you could draw the name and say, oh, this is who won. And then you could do the Facebook Live when they come in and pick up their gift card.
So
there's several ways you could do it.
would
But
the
you need
board
permission.
would the board members want to be part of that, like take turns each week
Chet,
to
Chet.
So
pick the winner?
I'm so sorry. I'm going back to my sort of producer director days, and I'm going to suggest that we simplify this significantly. And what I think we would do is we would draw a name. That winner, the integrity of that winner stands regardless of whether or not they choose to have their name read out loud. We'd
Yep.
call them ahead of time and say, hey, we're going to basically do a drawing. You already won. Are we allowed to say your name, yes or no? And then if they say no, then we go, fair enough, you're the winner. And we can still do a drawing and say, oh, we got a winner this week, we're going to call them. And for those who allow us to, we say, we got a winner this week. It's John Napoli, who lives in Goffstown, and that kind of, I think we just do it in a very, very simple way like that. If that's the pleasure of the board, as they say.
Okay.
My only concern about that, Chet, is that it's going to go out to Facebook Live. And so they just need to know that it's going out to Facebook Live and that their name is going to be kind of advertised over Facebook Live. So,
Let me clarify what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying we do a drawing in private,
yeah,
and if the person that wins is agreeable to having their name said out loud, we basically produce a drawing. You know what I mean? Like, and if they allow it, then great, we say their name. And if they don't, we just do a drawing and say, we have a winner, that kind of thing. That may be too complicated, but the idea, I think that we would get very few people who'd be willing to come to town hall, go on camera, live on camera. to do
Okay,
this
yeah.
kind of thing. So that's just kind of where I sit. I'm hoping. Am I making sense? I hope.
Oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and we all agree with that, but my concern is a disclaimer saying that they've given us permission to do that because it's going to go out to Facebook and a lot of people are going to see that. So I'm just playing the devil advocate here. Do we need to have some kind of a disclaimer that they sign that
Yes.
says that we have permission to do their name?
So rather than just get a verbal agreement that they're going to allow it, get an actual written agreement.
Yes.
I understand, and I would agree with that. That makes sense.
So have them send Joanne an email and say, hey, Joanne, I'm more than happy to have you draw now that you've drawn my name to go ahead and publicly do blah, blah, blah. So that's fine. That at least is a disclaimer. Okay, Ellen.
Yeah, it's not just the name, I believe it's the image, their face.
Yeah,
It's face
of course.
and name. And I would be more comfortable with a signed or emailed saying it's okay to use it.
Yep.
For safety reasons.
Yep, I agree. Yep, I think we all agree.
We wouldn't be using their face, just their name. Like Chet said, we wouldn't want to have them come down here and get involved in it. But my question is, once we do all of this, do you guys want to be involved with choosing the name, and then once anybody can choose the name, but once we do the Facebook Live, if the people say it's okay, do you guys want to be the one to be filmed with choosing the name after the fact?
Ellen's available if you want to.
I don't think we need to be involved. I think Joanne, you can do just a fine job.
Okay.
I'm seeing all the head shakes. Jeremy, were you going to say something?
Yeah, but there's a couple people with their hands on, so go ahead to them and come back to me.
There are no hands on. Oh, wait a minute, Dick.
I do.
Dick, you do. Okay, I can't see your hand up. Go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
here it is. I know, I just wanted to comment on that because mainly it's making sure that it's the Goffstown Economic Development Committee that is doing it. I've got to make sure that that is put in front of more people.
Right.
I think that's an important thing. Rather than one of our faces, it's really the name.
Right. Don't we have a banner that says EDC? Isn't there a banner or something that says Economic Development? That can be
Yes.
right there in the background when you do the drawing. Perfect.
Okay, I have it in my office.
Yep, done. Awesome. Okay. Anything else on bingo? Let's see, ad hoc bridge update. We probably want to do a little update on that.
Yep.
Andy did a great job yesterday morning to the Rotary. He did a nice presentation to the Rotary yesterday. I was on that call. Chet, were you on that?
I wasn't, but
Okay.
Andy's always great, so I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, they we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of things that they're concerned about, obviously. What is it going to look like? How is it going to impact where they are? Do they switch their place where their Rotary owns to the part that the town owns? There's a lot of things that they're talking about. So I think they're going to be coming back and just saying yay or nay. And if they say nay, then it probably doesn't go very far. But we're hoping that they say yes, that they would collaborate. And that's the biggest thing, is collaboration with them and making sure that everything is done the way that they would hope, because it is their land that the bridge will go to. I'm just thinking, can we sway it to the side? Anyway, Andy did a great job. So that's basically the update. We'll see what happens with that. Yes.
Melanie?
Jeff. Yes. Go ahead,
For
Ellen.
me? Okay. I heard from someone today, did we the Bridge Group, which is a public ad hoc committee, was something said from them or from, I don't remember who was presenting this, say that the information was not for public distribution?
No, that was on the bottom. That was on the bottom of one of the slides. That's all.
Okay, well, it concerns me because anything said there was said at a public meeting, and this was a public organization it was said to. I would hate for us to, or anybody, to get in any kind of trouble by sounds like trying to keep something secret.
Now, there was one slide that had it on the bottom, and Andy was very clear that it's been sent out to the police department, the fire department, looking for feedback
Okay.
as to what they saw for concerns, because the biggest concern for the Rotary was liability.
Sure.
That was one of their big concerns. Chet, go
Okay.
ahead. Chet first, then John.
Sure. I just wanted to do a quick update. Actually, John, are you speaking on that specific topic with Rotary? Because you can go first if that's the case.
Not specifically with that. No, my question was just more about the money that we were going to was going to come from this committee for, I think, the feasibility assessment.
Yep.
Yeah, they won't be doing anything with feasibility until we know that Rotary's on board. Pretty much.
Right. So let me do two things really quickly. The feasibility money that we gave over, we're waiting for the engineering company to come back with a scope of work. Derek's waiting for that. And as soon as it does, we can do that. The second piece about Rotary, there may be other ways we can go about it if they say no, but I agree with you, Bonnie, that collaboration is obviously the goal. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that they will see the benefit to all the local businesses, and that they would say, yep, let's go ahead and collaborate on this. Otherwise, there may be some other ways we can pursue it. It just becomes a lot more challenging at that point. But I certainly would not throw in the towel as a committee, as an EDC, should they say no.
Yeah, and there's no throwing in the towel at all, for sure.
Got it.
Thank you. Ellen, did you say? No, you're all
No,
set?
I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
listening carefully. Thank you.
No, how about you, Joanne? Do you have any updates? Your direct report?
I just have two things.
Okay.
The planning board will be hearing from an applicant on March 25th. Someone would like to add a laundromat to, everyone know where the car wash is in Pinardville?
Yep.
On Mast Road.
Yeah.
There's a house adjacent to the car wash, there's a residential home. The property is zoned commercial, and they would like to convert that residential home into a laundromat. So they'll be before the board on March 25th. And then the only other thing I have is what I sent you today was the article regarding the businesses with the COVID grants and the excess. I just wanted you to be aware of that because I thought it was kind of odd that, so for those of you who haven't read it, according to the state, the monies that they provided to the businesses, they're now saying that they have to take their 2019 earnings and compare it to their 2020 earnings with the addition of the money that they received from COVID.
Mhm.
And if that amount for 2020 is higher, they have to give the higher than 2019. They have to give the difference back to the state.
They gave me a 1099 for the money they gave me. So they didn't even ask me to do that. So I got a 1099. So
Well,
I'm
this
not
is-
even sure that's,
This information just came out this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And I think it's awful that they're doing
it
it.
is.
And I don't know when they gave the money to these businesses, if they even discussed that or had that as part of the application, if these people even knew. I didn't see it in there, but maybe it was hidden somewhere, but I don't believe.
I got a document after the fact that
Mhm.
said that if my earnings were higher, which they hope they would be because they want people to always do better.
Right.
So I got something after the fact of getting the money. So I would think other people did too. But I got a 1099, so it doesn't matter what my 2020 taxes are. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
So anyway, I just wanted you to be aware of that.
yes, thank you. How about Charlie's? When are they moving?
I have not heard about when they're moving. I know they're in the process of trying to get the other building squared away, but I
Right.
don't know when they'll be finalized.
And did I see that, is King's Bowling Lane for sale?
I saw that sign, and I haven't seen anything about it. I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, they've been there forever, and
Right.
it would be odd that it's up for sale, but I don't know.
Dick, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah, as
I
a frequent bowler, just want to let everybody know
Yeah.
it. The building's for lease currently, but they're
Okay.
they're still operating. Been there a couple of times this year. There still a lot of people bowling, which was a good sign. But it's not for sale. It's just for lease at the
Oh,
moment.
that's good.
He's-
So the
he's just
bowling
saying-
alleys for, okay, good. Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Mark, number one, I challenge you to a bowling match, and I have a couple other things that I wanted to add. I did see Dick Bruno. Did you have your hand up?
No, go ahead,
Okay.
Chet. I had one last question, but go ahead.
I have just a couple of things to add. Part of my duty is for anyone here, please attend town meeting or town meeting vote. Please everyone vote March 9th. That would be great to get the vote out and see a high turnout this year. The polls will be safe. There is social distancing in place. Anyone who was around in November saw that we did that. So it's safe. It's secure. Please come out and vote.
I'm
The other-
working, so come
Yes.
see me.
I'll be there with you, Bonnie, most likely.
Okay.
I did also want to, and I hate to do this, but the right to know law, I feel the need to explain it again. If Joanne sends an email, Joanne, it might be better if you blind copy everybody on these things. But what I've noticed is that Joanne will send out something that we all need to be aware of. And then there are still some folks that are replying all, and that becomes a right to know issue very quickly. There's nothing, luckily, that has been overly sensitive for us, but I just want to remind people to be very wary of that. Reply to Joanne. You're allowed to add me or the chair of the EDC, but beyond that, we cannot be replying all and having conversations that need to be in public view. So I just want to remind everyone of that just one more time. So thank you all so much for understanding that.
Thank you. Jeremy?
Yeah, so just I guess a piece of new business, reading through the agenda each month, we have our 2020 to 2021 Goffstown EDC goals, and I keep reading over item 1, and we're referencing developing this focus group program in Bernardville with UNH Cooperative Extension. We can discuss the details of that, but it gets me thinking to a larger issue of, as an economic development council, are we as public facing as we can be as a group? I feel like we have a lot of really good members from what I'm seeing over the last few months in this group. But I am very much aware of the rapid passing of time. And we have a 12-month year, and here we are already having our 3rd meeting. So we are 1/4 of the way through this year. And what I'm seeing, this is not a criticism in any way, but what I'm seeing is that the bulk of our energy is on a social media post and a single initiative for a certain group of businesses in town. I'm wondering if it would be prudent for us to maybe start thinking about having focus groups, inviting business leaders to, we can do it virtually for the first months before COVID begins to go away, hopefully soon. And then maybe later in the year, start discussing a safe way of doing it all in person. But just how do we start getting direct feedback to this council from more businesses in town, and we actually make this EDC more public facing as an organization?
I do love that question. So that's great, because I've been thinking about that too, because I read through these. And I just wondered if we could engage with the UNH Cooperative Extension to find out if there is some way we can do that electronically. Chet, you have your hand up. I think you'll probably say something about this. Unmute yourself. Unmute.
Well, what I said was so inappropriate anyway. I'm just kidding. So No, Jeremy makes a good point. What I just want to, Jeremy, I'm not sure if you were on the committee yet. You have to forgive me because I'm not sure exactly how long you've been on. But what we originally tried to do, this committee before used to have sort of these broad, ranging goals that were very ambitious, which was wonderful. But what happened was it was almost too much, and then nothing got done. So what we chose to do a while ago was really not minimize our impact, but minimize our goals so we could do one thing at a time. And what we had done was we created an initiative where we would go to sectors of town, somewhere in Pinardville, then maybe somewhere on Main Street, and then somewhere on some back streets in Pinardville that are zoned for business, those kinds of things. And we would be very transparent about our schedule and how we would start going to them. Those business leaders would hopefully come to the EDC. We would look to help them and have an impact with those businesses. And it would not appear as if we're favoring one business over another because we would have a schedule published ahead of time. That was our plan. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't follow through on that plan because whoever we pick first, actually, it could appear that we are picking, certain businesses over others in that case. So, Jeremy, your point is heard loud and clear. I do not see a reason why we can't put an open invite out to business leaders who wish to come in and speak to us. But I did, Jeremy, just in case you weren't aware of that goal, that is a goal that the second that we can, we will be re-implementing immediately. So I hope that helps clarify for you what we're looking at. Thank you.
Joanne, go ahead. I know your hand's been going up and down, up and down.
It's funny, when I click it, it doesn't show that it's up.
That's all right. It shows me. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to say that we did a very similar thing when I was working in Hooksett, and we had different groups, and we tried to get a mixture of businesses each time, and we invited them to come in and speak with us. But we did it, I don't know if that's would be possible, but we did it sort of somewhere, I don't want to say private, but it was somewhere else away from the town hall, and we didn't have a quorum of the Economic Development Committee.
Mm-hmm.
But so this way they could talk more freely about what their issues were, rather than coming in and being on TV and, but I don't know if that's possible to do that here, but
well, I think with COVID, that's the tough part is COVID and getting people together and social distancing.
Right. But
John,
if we could set up, do something similar, but set up remote meetings, I think that certainly is doable.
John.
So I was just gonna say, I think that would be a great opportunity once we have our ability to have our own Facebook, LinkedIn, other social media, and where we can put specific posts that might not get diluted down with the other Goffstown posts, and specifically asking the businesses to like us and follow us, and we can get that message out. Here's our meeting. You have an issue that you want to address or want to appear, and can have Joanne's contact information, and then it's just kind of more direct out there to the businesses. So I think once we have that, I think that would be a great kind of first initiative for us to be able to solicit that participation.
Awesome.
Well said.
So do you think that we could check with UNH Cooperative and just see if there's something they could maybe do remotely? I mean,
Sure.
is that, what do you think, guys? I mean, why not, right? Let's start the ball rolling so that when we can do it, we will get it done. Awesome.
I can give Stephen a call.
Okay. Is there anything else from anybody? Great job, guys. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn with a small comment. Bonnie, great job running this meeting.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Jeremy,
Thanks,
second.
Bonnie.
Jeremy, a second? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, aye, aye. Thank you, guys.
Have a good night,
Have a
everyone.
good week. See you next month.
Thank you.